3I Atlas would become the most terrifying assassin in the universe if by chance its orbit sent it crashing into Earth, because this is the largest interstellar comet that humanity has ever recorded, with an estimated diameter that could reach up to 5.6 kilometers. With this size, when crashing into Earth at a speed of 60 kilometers per second, it would be equivalent to the destructive power of millions of nuclear bombs, causing oceans to boil, the sky to darken, and of course, life on Earth could very likely be wiped out. Many hypotheses suggest that 3I Atlas is not an ordinary comet. It shows signs indicating that this is a spacecraft from extraterrestrials. So, where is Comet 3I Atlas in the solar system right now? Will its orbit bring it close to Earth in the future or not? And why do many people believe this is a spacecraft from extraterrestrials? "3I Atlas was first confirmed on July 1, 2025 by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, abbreviated as Atlas. This is a project funded by NASA and operated by the Institute for Astronomy at the University of Hawaii. The project is not a single telescope. Instead, the system consists of 5 SMA lines but extremely sensitive telescopes placed at various locations around the world, such as Chile, South Africa, and Hawaii. This allows them to cover the sky globally 24/24, thereby helping the system detect unusual moving objects such as asteroids or comets to issue collision risk warnings with Earth. On July 1, 2025, the Atlas Telescope facility in Chile detected a strange object moving into the solar system. Its apparent magnitude at that time was recorded as 18, extremely faint. Therefore, only a super-sensitive telescope could detect it. As it entered the solar system, the object traveled at a terrifying speed of about 60 kilometers per second, equivalent to 216,000 kilometers per hour. Immediately after being detected, it attracted great interest from the scientific community. Astronomical observatories around the world focused on tracking this strange interstellar object. However, up to the present time, observations and measurements of the object are still very difficult. Scientists are still not certain about the actual size of the object. Based on speed, orbit, and apparent brightness, scientists predict the size of 3I Atlas could range from 0.3 to 5.6 kilometers, a prediction with an extremely large margin of error, making it possibly just a comet with a diameter of 300 meters or a space assassin with a size up to 5.6 kilometers. The reason scientists are not certain about the size of 3I Atlas is because it is surrounded by a layer of dust reflecting sunlight, so measuring the nucleus of the comet accurately is very difficult, especially when the comet approaches the sun. Ice and dust on the surface sublimate even faster, making the dust layer larger, very difficult to perform accurate nucleus measurements. The most powerful telescopes of humanity, such as the James Webb Space Telescope, Hubble, or powerful ground-based telescope systems, have continuously monitored the comet's flight orbit. This is the infrared observation image of James Webb at different wavelengths. Next is the image of 3I Atlas, observed by the Hubble Space Telescope, and here is the image recorded by the Very Large Telescope system on Earth. Based on the images recording the object's orbit, scientists discovered that the comet approached the Sun most closely on October 29, 2025. At that time, it was about 1.6 astronomical unit from the Sun, equivalent to 200 million kilometers. In theory, this is the time when the comet is brightest. However, when observed from Earth, since the comet is almost directly opposite Earth through the Sun, it can only be observed in the equatorial region of Earth right after sunset. This makes observation and analysis at the comet's peak even more difficult. As of November 18, 2025, after passing perihelion, it is about 243 million km from the Sun and about 312 million km from our planet. Based on the comet's orbit, scientists predict it will have its closest approach to Earth on December 19, 2025. At that time, it'll be only 1.8 astronomical units from Earth, equivalent to 270 million km. Yes, this is certainly a safe distance with no threat whatsoever to Earth. Normally, interstellar comets like Atlas fly visit the solar system once and never return. So, in the future, it will certainly no longer be a threat to Earth. Analyzing the orbit more closely, scientists found that it has an extremely narrow hyperbolic orbit. The orbit does not bring it close to any planet in the solar system. Therefore, when it travels at 60 kilometers per second, equivalent to 216,000 kilometers per hour, it is almost certain that this is not an object in the solar system. It definitely comes from outside the solar system. A recent study shows that the vertical velocity of 3I Atlas is quite high compared to nearby stars and objects to Earth. This means Atlas follows a tilted orbit around the Milky Way, so it belongs to the thin disk or thick disk population of the Milky Way, and it is predicted to have an age from 7 to 14 billion years old, equivalent to the typical age of stars in the thick disk. This shows that 3I Atlas may be older than the solar system, 4.6 billion years old, and is very likely to become the oldest comet ever discovered. Many people think that if we can predict the orbit of 3I Atlas, we can track its parent star. But in reality, this is very difficult because it has moved through the Milky Way for billions of years. It may have passed many different stars, so tracing its origin star is impossible. Orbital analyses show that 3I Atlas has passed through 25 stars in the past 10 million years at distances no more than 1 parsec, equivalent to 326 light years. Although tracing the origin of the comet is very difficult, analyzing the chemical characteristics emitted from the comet shows that its parent star has low metallicity, only about 40% of the Sun's. In addition, 3I Atlas may have formed inside a protoplanetary disk around its parent star when it was very young. Observations from the James Webb Space Telescope show that 3I Atlas is very rich in carbon dioxide, so it formed very far from its parent star beyond the carbon dioxide frost line, where temperatures are cold enough for carbon dioxide to condense into solid form. Surely you have heard many rumors that Comet 3I Atlas is actually a spacecraft from extraterrestrials. Yes, those are theories built by some scientists who believe in extraterrestrials. Astrophysicist Avi Loeb has pointed out abnormal characteristics of Comet 3I Atlas. For example, it has a very large size but cannot be determined exactly. The sublimating substances from the comet lack identifiable chemicals. The orbit of a comet cannot be aligned with the ecliptic plane of the Sun like 3I Atlas, and its speed is too fast, unlike other interstellar comets. Therefore, he argues that this is not a comet but a spacecraft from extraterrestrials visiting the solar system. It even knows how to avoid human observation from Earth by maneuvering 3I Atlas behind the Sun when reaching perihelion. There are also some scientists who believe in extraterrestrial theories supporting Avi Loeb's arguments. However, the majority of astronomers do not agree. They express disappointment with Avi Loeb's arguments and say that such arguments are distracting from the work of other scientists. Everyone, because Comet 3I Atlas has an orbit that is not too close to Earth or the Sun. Its apparent magnitude is very large, the lowest being about 11.5 when observed from Earth, making the comet very faint. It cannot be seen with the naked eye or binoculars. When observing from Earth, you can only see this comet with professional telescopes with an aperture of at least 3 inches or larger. Here is the diagram of the comet's path across the sky. From its appearance until March 2026, each red mark is 10 days apart. The comet starts from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius on the left and will go to the constellation Gemini in March 2026. Although we cannot observe the comet with the naked eye, you can admire it through images taken by observatories.